All right, dance parents and dancers, I'm going to walk you through with Ivy today how to use the Starlet Kit. Let's get into it. All right, this part is optional. You can use concealer for this, but I love to prime Ivy's eyes with the Lay Me Down Eye Primer. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that. Ivy, you'll close your eyes for me. And I'm just going to lay this down. This creates a really nice base and also grip for the eyeshadow. Next up, I'm going to just set that with our Flawless Powder, and I'm using our number 6 brush. I'm just going to dust this over it, and what this does is it helps create a really smooth application. As you can see, her eyelids are primed. It got rid of any sort of discoloration on her eyelids, and it just creates a really smooth, finished look. Next up, I'm going to move into the eyeshadow, and I'm going to use still the number 6 brush. I'm going to start with the center shade. You do not want to start with the shimmery shade first, or the whole eye will get a shimmery effect, which is what we don't want. We want to keep the crease matte and then the lid of the eye shimmery. So I'm going to dip into center stage, and I'm going to rock that through the crease. So I'm focusing on the outer third of the eye, tailoring into the lash line, almost doing like a C or a V shape on the outside of the eye. The only thing that I would say is just make sure it's not too sharp of an angle. You do want it sort of lifted outward and upward, and you don't want too much of a C or too much of a V. It's kind of right in between the two. Okay, so this is the step that a lot of people do wrong. They either go too heavy or too light with it. Now I'm going to use Applause, going a little bit deeper in the crease, so not high. If you go too high on the eye, it will look like you got punched in the eye, which you don't want. So you just want a little bit of this, but it does need to be present, and you don't want to go over the top with it. So if, by chance, the eyeshadow is looking a little crazy, then you can take a clean brush and a little bit of Flawless, tap it off, close your eyes, and you can use it to help you blend the eyeshadow. That's just kind of like a little trick that makeup artists use to make things look all kind of blended and blurred together and a little bit more seamless. So now we're going to add the shimmer and the pop to the lid of the eye, and there is a secret when it comes to this. I use a little bit of setting spray and a flat brush. This is our number 3 brush. I take the setting spray on the back of my hand, mist the back of my hand a little bit, then I just dampen the brush, which is going to make the pigment stand out even more. And then I pick up Spotlight, which is this one right here, and I really kind of wiggle the bristles into the shadow. Make sure that it's really coated well, and then start patting that onto the eye. You can even kind of just test it on the back of your hand first. Again, lift the eye up so that you have a little bit more sort of room to work with, and there's not going to be any creases in the eyeshadow. And then you just press and pat that color on, and as you can see, the color payoff is so beautiful when you do this. The key is that you don't want to go too much on top of the outside shadow that you did. You want to make sure you stop kind of like right about here, halfway across the eye. You can go up a little bit, but you don't want to get this into the crease. If you get into the crease, it just all starts looking a little muddy and murky, which is what you do not want. Alright, so once the lids are done, I love to go back in with a little bit of center stage and just kind of melt the shimmer with the crease together, but you only want to do it on the edges of the eyeshadow where you put the brighter color. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm picking up a little bit with number 5 brush, and so when I say the edges, I mean right along here where it looks a little clunky. Just makes it all look a little softer, a little bit more blended and blurred together. Lifting the eye and just focusing on the edges, but trying not to bring the shimmer into the crease. All right, so here's a little trick. I'm just gonna take a little bit of, this is just like a toner, but you can take an eye makeup remover as well. And I'm just gonna clean up underneath her eyes. So if you get fallout, you can kind of do a little cleanup, and that's why I love to do the eyes first, so it doesn't wreck the concealer or the foundation. Just make sure you're not sweeping up, or you'll wreck kind of that elongated eye that we have blended. Just kind of sweeping and cleaning up under Ivy's eyes. So now we're going to move into eyeliner. I love using a pen. I find it really easy to work with. The pots that are out there are a little bit more difficult, or really liquid liners as well. This one is just so easy to use. It is a liquid, but it's very controlled and contained in the pen. I love to put her head back, so tilt her head back a little bit so you can kind of see what you're doing. And then I start with the wing. So I lift her eye again. You'll notice that in almost every step I lift her eyebrow up. And I follow the eyeshadow, the bottom of the eyeshadow. Really, if you're working from where the lashes end at the end of the eye and kind of on an upward angle, that's the way to do it. And I first do that little tick. So that is, open your eyes, Ivy. That's where the wing is gonna start. So now I'm just putting on a little bit of waterproof mascara. Waterproof will save the day when it comes to having raccoon eyes, especially when they're sweating and dancing for so long. So I do recommend some waterproof here. I just pop on a little bit. I find with Ivy's eyes closed, it makes it a whole lot easier. And then I pop lashes on top. So now we're gonna add the pop of pink to the cheek. You don't wanna go too far with this, but you need enough color for the stage lights. Remember, the stage lights eat up about I would say 80% of the makeup, so you have to have it a little heavier than what you would think. I'm gonna pick up, this is our number 4 brush with Standing O that comes in the kit. You wanna get your child to smile, and you focus on the apples of the cheeks and lifting upwards in almost like a C shape is gonna give them the most flattering look. And then also you want to make sure that you're hitting the nose as well, just a tiny bit, just so that there's warmth through the center of the face too. I find when there's nothing on the nose, it just kind of looks like the blush comes out of nowhere. So get them to keep smiling and just continue blending until it looks really seamless. Make sure you're not going too low on the face as well. That can kind of give them a jowly look. You want to stay lifted in that C shape. All right, so we do have 2 lip options. Our original kit came with this berry tone. So this one is our Star Power lip, and this is our mulberry lip liner. Ivy is going to put these on herself. We also have a red option too. We have Showstopper and Oxford, both gorgeous kind of Hollywood red. The search was long, the rhythm was wrong, I played the blues. To set the look, now that it's finished, I'm going to use Forever Fancy Setting Spray. Close your eyes. This will lock in the look. All right, so that is the final look. Ivy's ready for the stage. She's going to competition today. And hopefully that helps you put together a great look for stage.